Ignore the dinosaur, anyway, you were saying.
Right. What I'm trying to say is, like, because there's so many people, and everyone, the parents' ideas, you gotta go to college, you gotta get your undergrad, or then you gotta get your, master's degree, or now you gotta go to work. But there's so many people with, like, an undergrad degree. Like, they actually make less money than the people that collect trash.
Mm-hmm.
Because those people don't want to do that kind of shit anymore. They're all educated. And that's
yeah.
And the construction workers, too. Like,
Speaking of construction workers, the Saudis and the Arab Emirate has basically bought an entire tribe of Indian people. From India.
And Chinese people.
Yeah,
they go to Saudi and stuff to build.
Yeah, they basically bought an entire tribe from two different people.
To build things?
To build
Did you
things.
know that's a thing?
No, I have not heard about this.
2008, I was on a flight with my dad to... what's the city? Fuck. Frankfurt.
Oh,
Frankfurt.
Okay.
Yeah. And on the plane, Lufthansa, they were like a squad of they're... I'm not being racist or anything, but they're like a bunch of Chinese construction workers. So they don't speak any like English at all or German or anything. And I approached them like, where are you guys going? And they're like, oh, we're going to Germany to like build. I was like, for how long? Like 2 years. So they're basically going to be there for 2 years, just non-stop working for construction, and they're gonna cover their living, their eating, and that's it. They just work, live, eat, die.
They're outsourcing actual physical labor, not just
because it's actually cheaper to get it from China and fly in there.
That's literal physical outsourcing. It's no longer just internet jobs.
Yeah,
That's fascinating,
and it's been going on for years.
Yeah,
now.
It's been going on for quite a while.
It's
even been a thing in
because you don't see it in the United States. You see it in other countries.
Yeah, we've had that in Sweden. Yeah. There was this old hotel area.
Lots of European countries.
Although, have you guys seen the controversy on the New Bay Bridge?
Controversy? No, I haven't seen it.
It I guess was built badly, and they've had all sorts of analysts come in lately, and they're saying like the welds on this are absolute shit. And
so
do not quote me on this because I last time I actually checked up on this was months ago, but basically they not necessarily outsourced. They did the work here, obviously, with like American
it's the
workers.
bridge that replaced the one that fell during the last big earthquake.
Yeah, and
the beautiful white bridge.
Yeah, that bridge is still there, and then there's that like glorious Minas Tirithian kind of like beautiful
I know the
white bridge. And I guess some sort of Chinese workers were involved with that, and it's just like I've heard analysts say that the bridge is crap and it's useless. And people are kind of furious that as a city we like funded this giant stupid fucking bridge that is glorious and beautiful looking. But I mean, if you go over the bridge, I think nowadays the toll is $5.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
And it used to be something like $2.
I don't pay my tolls ever. Do you know what you want?
And that was years ago.
Why?
Because I don't have a front plate.
You don't have a front plate?
Yeah, and the camera's facing front. So if you have toll violation,
and now it's on the internet.
They can't bill me. Actually, I learned that from Steve Jobs. He bought it. He bought it.
Of course, that fucking douchebag.
Before he died, he had a 10-year-old Mercedes SLS. That's like a convertible, with a temporary license in the front sticked onto it. Because that way he doesn't need any license. And then whenever he speeds or go through red light or toll violation, they can't catch him.
What a fucking cunt! That totally fits his MO,
And the car still looks kind of new, so the cops won't pull you over.
But by the way, did you see that the Steve Jobs movie came out? The one that we're in?
I watched it.
Did you see Frederick and I in the audience?
No,
of course not.
No,
thousands of people.
Yeah. That might have been one of the worst days that I've had here in the US.
Really?
Yeah.
That was one of the worst?
Yeah, I hate being on film set, especially in fucking mass scenes, and especially when you don't get to do shit.
Yeah, we stood up and clapped, and then sat down, and then stood up and acted excited, and then walked out of the theater, then into the theater.
Yeah, it was just...
And then a person that wasn't Michael Fassbender playing Steve Jobs walked up and turned on a computer, and then we all applauded.
Why is there another guy?
Because they didn't want to pay the guy for doing it.
They weren't getting shots of Fassbender that day. They were going to do them on a different set later, rather than have him on the stage in front of hundreds of people.
Wow.
So it was. I mean, I just did it because it gave some extra credit, I think. No, it gave money to the theatre program.
It gave money to the theatre program, and then also we got free lunch while we were there.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that the theatre program got money from me being there, I would have been like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you, I'm out of here.
I signed up for it, and I confirmed the spot, but it was too early, so I was like, fuck it.
I figured I'll be an extra in a film maybe once or twice in my life. If I could do something like Pirates of the Caribbean, and I get to swing a sword around and do flips and get thrown in the water and die violently, yeah, I'll fucking do that. That'll be fun. But I figured just try being an extra once or twice, whatever. Just see what it's like.
I want to be in the next major fucking blockbuster film, and I want to be that guy that dies in the first 5 seconds of it. Just a completely unnecessary death that you just throw in to get
like Saving Private Ryan when they're storming D-Day and the first 5 guys in the boat just get turned into
that was so sad. Yeah,
it's sad, but you want that is the kind of extra thing that you want to do, because
that's true.
They will see your face and all of a sudden they will be like,
oh hey, it's Frederick. Oh, Frederick.
Frederick with that and I. Wait, hold on.
It would be fucking hilarious. Not say anything, but knowing that your mother's gonna see it, and you'll get that fucking call I saw you in that film, why didn't you warn me?
Jesus, you're the loudest human I've ever met. I love it. Have you seen the video? I think it's College Humor. Again, never quote me on anything. But it's called It's Not Porn, It's HBO. And it's all these actors calling their parents, and they're saying oh, so I do this scene where I'm fighting this guy, and then in the next scene 6 people are jizzing on my chest, and their parent was like, What? It sounds like you're in porn. And they're like, no, don't worry, it's not porn, it's HBO. And they're like, oh, okay.
That seems about right.
Because you watch stuff like Game of Thrones, and it's like, oh, that's a 5-some happening.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's very fucking graphic.
Yes.
So something we actually have to give a little point to the feminists was when the blonde chick went to the Wild Country in the beginning.
I fucking hate you and your lackluster knowledge of Game of Thrones, by the way.
Yeah,
that last podcast was shameful. As a proud nerd, I'm disappointed in you.
Here's a name for you.
What is his name?
The blonde girl was Khaleesi.
Tyrion Lannister? Yeah, fuck you. What are the Northmen called?
I have no idea.
It's the Starks, you guys.
Yeah.
And then you blasphemed Tolkien.
No,
I wanted to reach into the podcast and
it wasn't blasphemous. The thing is, it's so fucking slow in its build-up. It's just so much shit that didn't need to be there for an excellent story.
It's the journey, man.
But I don't want to read about each individual straw of glass beneath the great oak where they're going to have Bilbo's going away party. I mean, I don't need to read that. It's sort of like, the first grass straw was leaning in at an angle that intersected with the second one. No, but that's the way it feels.
No, but I literally just read that bit the other day because I'm rereading the quote-unquote trilogy, and because technically it's all one book, technically. But nobody reads it that way, pretty much. And it describes the party. It explains them putting up the tent and Gandalf and the cool fireworks shit that he has, and it's world building, man. It's the most vivid world building in all of fantasy.
Yes, absolutely. I don't disagree with that. I just find it very you could have done this in a fourth of the amount of pages that you just spent, and still have just as a vivid a picture, and get to the meat. Where is the beef?
The beef is when you get to Minas Tirith and the Battle of Pelennor Fields and all of the cool shit. It's the same thing. Sadly, I hate to be referencing this, but it's what we've been learning in class. You got to build up to that. You don't just start off your story in the middle of the fields with the...
But let's say, I mean, this might seem blasphemous to all the Tolkien fans, but...
Oh, God.
I really enjoy Robert Jordan.
Why is that blasphemous?
I don't fucking know. Just some people have gotten offended that I do enjoy Robert Jordan more than Tolkien.
Robert Jordan, the only real problem with him is that he doesn't know how to write women as actual people, but that's, Wheel of Time's still excellent.
Yeah.
It's treacherously long. That series will take up a large portion of your life.
Yeah,
how do you like Wheel of Time, but not...
I don't know. It's just something about that world.
Have you heard the saying about the Wheel of Time books?
No.
Is that they get to book 6, and then the books start actually dropping in number again because they actually go to the past And then they literally tangent so hard that they're like, we're just gonna prequel, but you have to read them in order still because it also has some stuff in modern day. And it's like, and they're 14 fucking books, and you still can't read the fucking trilogy.
I mean, it's just the way that it's written, the pace in the way that it's written.
Oh my god! And you can't do Game of Thrones either, but you can do Wheel of Time.
Yes, I can because this just. I don't know. I just like it more.
Wheel of Time, I like it. It has a good mystique. The magic is cool.
Of this lost era, which sort of is like our Atlantis. This hyper modern civilization that existed in legends, but no one knows if it was true. I mean, they had fucking airplanes and guns in the former world there. So you have the lightning rods and everything. That's a very clever hint at guns. And not just any guns, fucking electric guns that just burned holes through people. Mm-hmm. So,
but I will say, just in defense of Game of Thrones, by the way, because I did listen to the podcast with Nico like 3 different times.
Cool.
Yeah, no problem. In defense of Game of Thrones, it isn't necessarily. I'm not going to say it isn't about the overarching plot, but it's a character story.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why they do perspective chapters. Yeah. It's not meant to be a big. It is meant to be a big sweeping epic, but that takes its time. Really, it's about the political intrigue, and I know that's why you don't like it, is the political intrigue, but that's the purpose of those books. It's not...
Yeah,
It is for the big White Walker battle scenes, and the battle at the Fist of the First Men, and the Battle of the Blackwater, and all this cool stuff. But then it's also about the quiet moments, where... it's Tyrion talking with his brother about their family, and they're talking about their past, and they tell tragic stories.
And I'm not saying that it's bad. All I'm saying is that I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
I can't convince you, but
come on.
You can't change people's minds. But I want to change your mind with a brick.
It's okay.
What I'm saying is I want to smash your fucking brains in.
Yeah, you know what? I could go with that, If it dumbs down me a bit so I can live in blissful ignorance, I'd be willing to do so.
You're not going to use your serial killer skills?
What?
What?
No.
Do you at least like the TV show?
I mean, I enjoyed watching the first season, but then when the second came, I was sort of like, I sort of want to watch Blacklist instead.
What was it about the second season that made you peter off?
It's just fantasy for me has somewhat lost its luster.
Okay. I know that you've been dipping really heavily into sci-fi lately.
Yeah, sci-fi is
in which case I have literally 2 books that I can see from where I'm sitting right now that I need to give you, which is Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson and The Diamond Age by Neil Stephenson.
Let's see, Watchmen.
Also Watchmen.
I fucking love Watchmen.
Watchmen's brilliant. Yeah, actually, I like my bookshelf. I have a pretty decent collection of shit. I can see from where I'm sitting the Iliad and the Odyssey in one little nice bundle. I see Game of Thrones.
I see the Bhagavad Gita.
I see Anthony
Guns.
Horowitz,
Guns are awesome.
who makes a really awesome... It's more of a, not necessarily a preteen series, but like a sort of teenager series.
Cool.
And speaking of, Vietnam, you actually have a book on Vietnam.
Yes, I have the illustrated history of Vietnam. I have a book on guns. I have 2 different books on guns. I don't have any guns. I'm more medieval in my interests in weaponry. I have mostly swords and stuff, but I'm a bit of a gun aficionado. I don't think that we should have them. I think they're more of a collector piece, but if getting rid of them means not massacring children, I will happily do away with guns.
I think it depends on the psyche of the person. How the person's insane or not.
Yeah.
I feel like guns actually... I mean, if everyone has a gun, nobody would shoot somebody on campus because, they can just shoot back. That's a very simple argument. Everyone says this, right?
Yeah, I don't know. There's literal physical evidence now that they've shown that, the U.S. is one of the few countries that gets these giant fucking massacres with people killing, an entire elementary school.
In Sweden, just the other day...
You had that crazy motherfucker on the island with the kids and all
that. That was Norway.
Norway,
but not Sweden, a couple of days ago. I think this was yesterday or the day...
Yesterday.
There was a guy, he had a fucking katana... And he walked through the school fucking slicing down people. It has nothing to do with access to gun. It has to do with the fact that there's fucking crazy people.
Can I get a high five?
No, I agree that it's crazy people, but I also think that crazy people can kill a lot fewer people with a sword than with a gun.
Yeah, but not this guy. He had intent and purpose. It's come out that he was doing it out of racial motives. He was a white guy doing it out of racial motives. But we have loads of racial tension.